We are looking at a signal that most of the market is completely ignoring right now, and it points to a brand new era of crypto adoption.
And let me be clear, if you ignore what we're about to cover, you seriously risk missing out on the next major market cycle. And no, this isn't going to be a cycle driven by hype. It's going to be driven by something much, much bigger: real-world, government-level utility. You see, while everyone else is chasing the next meme coin, an entire country, the nation of Georgia, is making a truly monumental move. They are putting their national public registry and their real estate assets on-chain with Hedera. This is not some pilot program. This is full-scale government adoption, and it's happening right now.
So, by the end of this deep dive, you are going to have the complete intelligence briefing. First, we'll break down that groundbreaking government deal. Then we'll follow the money and see which institutions are quietly accumulating. And finally, we're going to map out the exact price levels you need to be watching for HBAR.
All right, let's get right into it. The piece of news that's setting the stage for everything else. A sovereign government is officially building its future on the Hedera network.
And look, this is not just some casual handshake deal. The Memorandum of Understanding with Georgia's Ministry of Justice is a super detailed plan for full-scale integration. We're talking about moving sensitive national public registry data on-chain. That means a whole new level of security and transparency. And maybe the most powerful part? They're tokenizing real estate assets, which could literally revolutionize how property ownership works.
So you might be asking, what does real estate tokenization even mean? Well, think of it like this. It's turning your physical house deed into a secure digital certificate that lives on the blockchain. It sounds simple, but this one change has massive implications. It strengthens property protection, it creates radical transparency, and it just makes the entire system way more reliable and efficient.
Now, this is exactly the kind of fundamental, real-world news that drives price. So, the big question becomes, how is the market actually reacting to this enormous development?
Yeah, that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We have literal nation-state level adoption, but is it priced in yet? Let's take a look at the charts and see what the key levels are telling us.
Okay, this table gives us a really clear roadmap. The short-term uptrend is holding up pretty well, and any little dip down to that 13 to 13.5 cent range, that could be a prime buying opportunity. The real fireworks, though, are going to start if and when HBAR can break and hold above 20 cents. But we've got to keep an eye on Bitcoin. If BTC can't hold 90K, HBAR could see one last shakeout before the real rally kicks off. But while the price is kind of figuring itself out, there's another story unfolding behind the scenes, one that shows us exactly where the smart money is placing its bets. You see, they're not waiting for a breakout, they are accumulating right now.
Take a look at this number. That's the holdings of just one institutional product, the Canary Capital HBAR ETF. For anyone who doesn't know, an ETF is basically an investment fund that trades on a normal stock exchange. The fact that huge players are using this to scoop up 460 million HBAR, that's worth about $67 million, by the way, is just a massive vote of confidence.
And to put that into perspective, this one single ETF has already locked up almost 1% of the entire HBAR supply in long-term positions. This isn't just some one-time buy. It's a pattern of consistent buying pressure that's literally taking supply off the open market.
And the demand just keeps growing. Canary Funds has now filed for another product, an American-made crypto ETF. And just look at the company HBAR is keeping in that index. You've got Solana, Avalanche, XRP. This is an undeniable signal that major institutions now see Hedera as a blue-chip asset, a project with a proven track record and huge long-term potential.
But you know what? Perhaps the most significant institutional development of all comes from one of the absolute giants of traditional finance, a company that has been famously skeptical of crypto until now. $11 trillion. That's the assets under management for Vanguard. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's more than the GDP of most countries. For years, they blocked their clients from buying crypto products. But in a major reversal, they have now opened up their platform to the HBAR ETF. This move unlocks a pool of capital so enormous that if even a tiny, tiny fraction flows into HBAR, it could have a massive impact on the price. Look, if you want to stay ahead of the curve with this kind of in-depth analysis from us here at Crypto Global News, just take a second to like, share, and subscribe, and definitely hit that bell icon. That way you'll never miss a critical signal like this one again.
Okay, so we've seen the government adoption, we've seen the institutional accumulation. Now let's just pull back for a second and connect all the dots. What does all of this really mean for the long-term future of Hedera?
What's happening is the entire narrative is fundamentally shifting. For years, we've seen impressive enterprise adoption, but government adoption, that is on a completely different level. When a sovereign government trusts a public ledger with its most sensitive data, that is a level of validation that no corporation can ever match. From Wyoming's stable token to Georgia's public registry, Hedera is cementing its place as the public ledger for the real world.
And it's so critical to remember what all the experienced investors know. Investing in this kind of foundational infrastructure takes time. The price doesn't always immediately reflect how significant these developments are. What we're witnessing right now is the crucial groundwork being laid for true global mass adoption.
So it all comes down to this. Governments are making their move, institutions are accumulating, the floodgates for traditional capital are swinging wide open. The utility revolution isn't coming, it's already here. The only real question left is, are you positioned for it?
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.